Welcome back, y'all. Anderson here for another story. Today, we're talking about Wayde van Niekerk, the 400-meter world record holder, Olympic champion from 2016, world champion from 2015 and 2017, but coaching changes. So I recently did a video speaking about, athletes changing coaches and more specifically why athletes make the decision to change coaches. But even before that, I had done a video speaking about the 100, 200, 400 combined sprinters, where there's only 3 athletes in history who have ever gone sub 10 in the 100, sub 20 in the 200, and sub 44 seconds in the 400. Wayde van Niekerk, Michael Norman, and Fred Kerley are the only 3. Well, Wayde van Niekerk, who fits in that bucket, one of the biggest, talents in the sport, he now has also been confirmed to have changed coaches and at least has moved back to South Africa. So shout outs to Olympics.com. They got the story about Wayde van Niekerk, South African sprint sensation, Wayde van Niekerk back training on home soil. This is really interesting because everyone has been rooting for Wayde van Niekerk to get back to his older form, right? Get back to that form that we've seen from 2015 to 2017 when he was essentially unstoppable. But in the story here, it says world 400-meter record holder Wayde van Niekerk is back training on home soil in South Africa after a 4-year stint in the United States. And I know when I did the coaching changes video, some people were actually asking, I think it was that video, some people were asking in the comments like, oh, is Wayde van Niekerk still training with Lance Brauman or is he back home? Now, he posted on Instagram a couple weeks ago at the top of January, he was saying, 2025, big push. And, clearly this is not Florida, right? This is not Clearmont, Florida, where, Lance Brauman trains. A couple pictures of just him in training. And he did have a few other, photos as well. One specifically where he has some of his South African teammates here, training. So, but you can never read too much into these photos because maybe they're just taking some time to go for a training camp. Famously, Wayde van Niekerk actually took a couple weeks or months back in, I think it was 2016, where he went down to Jamaica, was training with Usain Bolt. So these things are going to happen. But in the article, it continues, the Rio 2016 champion over the one-lap event made a return to his old stomping ground in Bloemfontein, apologize for the pronunciation, someone in the comments please correct me, where he laid the foundation for some of his career-defying races. Van Niekerk's agent, Pete Van Zyl, confirmed to Olympics.com that the 2-time world champion had split from U.S. coach Lance Brauman. It continues, quote, he is officially back in South Africa. At the moment, his stepfather, Steven Schwartz, Van Zyl told Olympics.com. All the injuries and niggles are a thing of the past. So it seems like potentially his stepfather is coaching him. I think there may be, some miscommunication or something here, but potentially his stepfather is coaching him for the time being. And that might be an interesting dynamic where it says at the moment his stepfather, Steven, right? So does that mean that he's going to be transitioning into a different coach, right? Does that mean that he's going to be sticking with his stepfather? Or maybe I'm misreading it and it's not just his stepfather. Who knows? But we'll see how that kind of plays out. But it continues. It says the South African will be looking to breathe new life into his career, which is not quite recovered since he suffered a serious knee injury at the end of 2017. Van Niekerk severed ties with long-term coach Tanny Ans Botha at the beginning of 2021 to join Brauman's training group in Clearmont, Florida. The training group included Olympic 100-meter champion Noah Lyles. Also in that group was, Shauna Miller-Weibo, you had Jerome Richards, you have so many other athletes in that group, specifically at the time that Van Niekerk was training there. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about is how we got to this point. From 2015 all the way to 2017, he was essentially unstoppable. Gold medal in 2015. I had the privilege of being in Beijing to see that race live. Got the gold medal in 43.4 seconds. Won in 2016 the Olympic gold medal in 43.03 seconds to get the world record, breaking that 43.18 from all the way back in 1999 by Michael Johnson. And then 2017 at the World Championships, he comfortably runs a relaxed 43.9 to get the 400-meter gold, and then he follows that up with a silver medal in the 200 at the London World Championship. So Wayde van Niekerk was a generational talent, on top of the 300-meter world record, on top of running 10.8 in the 100. Generational talent, and you cannot deny what he's done. But of course, in 2017, at the end of the year, he was playing in a rugby match or something like that, and he caught a knee injury that ended the Wayde van Niekerk that we knew from that 3-year stretch. He was never the same since. And we can see that, projected in his performances, where 2015, 43.48 at the World Championships, 2016, 43.03 at the Olympic Games, the world record. 2017, he ran the 43.6 in Lausanne at the Diamond League, but he did run 43.9 to get the gold medal at the World Championships. And then at the end of the year, that's when things, just unfortunately went wrong. He got injured and he literally did not run all the way until 2020, but that was the pandemic year, so nothing to go there. And then 2021, he was making kind of a strong comeback, but he never recovered since. 44.56 2021, 44.33, 44.04, and then 44.74. So he's never touched those 43-second times. I did think he might do it in 2023. We'll talk about that full season in a second, but we can see that he never returned to what we saw from that 3-year stretch, that legendary 3-year stretch from 2015 to 2017. But in 2022, I do want to talk about this season a little bit because he actually made the World Championship final in Eugene, and this was kind of seen as a potential comeback where could he actually medal? Got to the World Championships, 44.75 in the semis, and then 44.9 in the final. Now, in that final, coming off the final bend, right, going into the home straight, he was actually in contention. You can argue he was in like 3rd, 4th place, whatever it may be, coming off the bend. He was in a very good position, but he just wasn't able to hold on for the rest of the race. And, we never saw that come into fruition. But we did see in 2023, in my opinion, there was a point during the 2023 season that I thought Wayde van Niekerk was the favorite for the gold medal. We saw him kick things off with, a couple 44s, including a 44.17, which was his fastest time since 2017, almost on the cusp of that 43 second, or the, running 43 seconds. Talk about 44.1. Come on, man. And you're talking about in April? Yes. This is, of course, at altitude in South Africa, but he followed that up with consistency through the year. 44.2 in Jamaica, 44.3 in Oslo, 44.0 in Poland. Wayde van Niekerk was extremely consistent all throughout the 2023 season. And all these races were wins. He was winning these races. He wasn't finishing 2nd, 3rd place. He was winning these races and running top times. Went to London, won the Diamond League there as well. So that's why, if I'm remembering back, you can probably check some videos on my channel, I thought that he was like the favorite, maybe edge on favorite with a couple other guys going into the World Championships, as you didn't have a clear favorite with, Michael Norman, who was injured that year. You didn't have, you had Karani James, but he was also still kind of like not running those super consistent times. You had someone like Muzala Samakonga. He had run 43 seconds, I think, in 2023 early in the year, but he unfortunately got an injury and wasn't able to compete. Matthew Hudson-Smith, he was making waves as well. But I thought that Wayde van Niekerk was a favorite, got to the World Championships, and unfortunately did not perform. For some reason, made it to the final, ran 45.11 seconds. So I don't know. Wayde van Niekerk just wasn't showing it through the 2023 season once he got to the World Championships. So we almost saw that spark. We almost saw it, but he wasn't able to do it. Then 2024, this was... I don't know what happened in 2024. Despite running 44.7, despite running a pretty decent time, he chose to run the 200 at the Olympic Games, and he didn't make the final there. Not exactly sure, considering what he had done in 2023. I thought he would have had a good shot to potentially challenge for a medal at the Paris Olympic Games. Now, with context, in hindsight now, we know it was kind of, like 43.40, 43.44, 43.7, like, it was crazy. But before the Olympics, we saw some potential there. But, at this point, it's interesting to see where Wayde van Niekerk is going to go. In my opinion, I said it in my video, I don't think that he's going to be able to improve on his personal best, that 100, 200, 400 that he has run. I think as he kind of continues to get up in age, as he kind of continues to get, it gets harder to do recovery. It gets harder to train as hard as you were previously. I don't know. I'm interested to see how the 2025 season goes for Wayde van Niekerk. And if he's at minimum able to at least challenge for a podium spot. The landscape of the men's 400 is so different right now. Yes, he was in those races with LaShawn Merritt, with Karani James, where all three of them had gone sub 44 seconds for the first time in 2015, and then once again in 2016. But now we're talking about 5 guys under 44 seconds. It's just different right now. It's different right now. So I don't know. We'll see what the landscape is of the men's 400, but let me know what you think about Wayde van Niekerk. Do you think that this coaching change going back to South Africa is going to be a good one for him, depending on what the training situation is going to be like? And do you think we'll ever see him get back to maybe not necessarily his old ways of world record breaking 43.0, but do we think he'll get under 44 seconds this year? I mean, he has no choice to get on the podium, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.